Yeah, one moment. I think, yeah, we're good.
Today we have Vishal with us today with Homes. And they are presenting a 4-unit cottage cluster in Nehalem. Their project request, and this is a workforce housing project. The project request is $50,000 and this is their first time presenting.
Oh, thanks for the pizza and the opportunity to present. This is the personal pet project for me. My name is Vishal. I'm here to talk about the Nehalem workforce housing pilot. But first, let me tell you about why it matters to me. I grew up in a household full of architects, my dad, my sister, and my fiance. And now, at an early age, I learned that to see a project through two lenses, technical precision of construction and emotional power of design. This project is about cutting corners, but it's about smart, being strategic and being resourceful. And before I share more about myself and my background, I have Ben online. He's a local, he's an investor partner to introduce himself.
Sure. I don't know that people would consider me a local anymore, but I did go to Nehalem grade school, and my parents or my mother was part of the group that founded Fire Mountain School, and then I went to Seaside High School. And like Vishal, I have a background in technology, but having grown up on a dairy farm, I dabble in everything, it turns out. And I think middle income housing specifically, and just really housing for the people that live and work in Tillamook County, and I suppose Clatsop County, but really in any community, is sort of important to me. I have 2 brothers now. I had 3 brothers, but 2 brothers living in and around Nehalem, and my mother lives there. We actually own the house directly up the hill from this property, and then we own the house across this, or she owns the house across the street, where she provides low or mid-income housing to 2 units plus where she lives. And then we have the house up the hill from this, which has housed my brother, but will be entering the sort of same, mid-level or mid-income housing, once we clean that up. But really, I think it's just visiting the community over and over again and having family members trying to live there. I think it's so important to find, non-short-term housing, and instead middle income housing is really important. Vishal, do you want to go on and people can ask questions?
So thanks, Ben. So I've been working at big tech companies, and after 20 years of leading complex programs at Microsoft and such, I've taken those skills about design thinking, product execution, breaking down impossible problems that are facing a community, and applying them to one of the hardest challenges that we face, creating quality, affordable housing for working families. And our core belief is that middle income housing should not compromise on quality. That's why we are starting this strategic pilot, and I call it a pilot because our vision is to go beyond this.
I had a package.
Sorry, keep going.
Okay. And I'm doing this for people who make communities work, the teachers, the nurses, the professionals that deserve better. You have to point to.
I mean, the band for you. That's not working. I got the next one up.
Okay. So the problem is the missing middle right now. I think you're very well aware of that. Working families earn about 80%, 120% of AMI, and roughly about 48 to 78,000, and they are being priced out of new construction. These aren't abstract statistics, and they have to drive about 2 hours to come in and work in these communities. The teachers who shape our children's future, healthcare workers, and the local professionals who keep the communities running. Housing isn't a shelter, it's a critical infrastructure. It's a critical infrastructure that makes a community, right? So to solve that problem, got it. this is where my design thinking and product background comes into play, that you have a complex problem and you don't have to solve everything at once. We can break it down, create manageable system and eliminate variables that cause that risk. So building a house from scratch costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time. I am partnering up with Nehalem Technology after working with a few other companies. Their solution I found is factory built for consistent quality, is standardized and is repeatable, and it's very energy efficient. And this gives us an opportunity for lower risk, consistent quality, and eliminate construction overrun risk. So that way we can define constraints and eliminate constraints and then make sure that we can produce and reproduce in a consistent manner. Next slide, please. So in this pilot project, we are thinking about a 4-unit cottage cluster. It's a unit mix of 2 bedrooms plus 2 1-bedroom. It's a lot size about 8,000 square foot. And we want to place 4 of them on this place. And our strategic goal is that we can create a proven sustainable affordability model that allows us to replicate. And then we can expand in the future to 10 to 20 cottage clusters. And I'm seeking county partnership model and also looking at public and private collaboration for funding as well. And we are targeting Q2 of 2026 to get this done. So it would take us about 6 months from getting down to getting done. We already have the land. We already purchased the land. And every design choice is made with replication in mind. Next slide. And our target AMI, let's talk about the numbers here, because this is where our commitment to affordability becomes concrete. We are intentionally below the maximum. If you're looking at 1 bedroom, 80% is between one AMI 1170 to 1750. And we are targeting rent to be about 1,200. And for 2-bedroom units, we're targeting about 1,600. And this buffer is very critical, so we can absorb higher upfront costs of construction of the site work, maintain quality without rent creep, and commit to long-term affordability. Growing up, learning to do more with less taught me that constraints drive innovation. We are not here to compromise on quality, but we are trying to be smart about the delivery. Next slide, please. So now I'm talking about this specific project. And it brings back to me to the architecture of building that I had, that design matters. We are thinking about, this is an actual rendering of what we plan to build. In the cluster, it is aesthetically pleasing, environmentally friendly, and this will create dignity and pride and the community value that we are seeking for our working class community. This cluster community with contemporary design has a strong color appeal, and we are using very quality products with the latest technology. And again, affordable housing doesn't mean cheap housing; it means smart housing. What I've learned over the years, beautiful design is achievable by any budget if you need to know where to invest and where to be strategic. So the vision is, this rendering shows the vision. It's a very contemporary Pacific Northwest design with sustainable materials, clean lines, natural integration with the landscape. We are planning to use native plantation and design that respects both environment and the community. This happens when you combine construction knowledge and aesthetic sensibility. This is the pilot project site plan. Right now, it's a cluster of 4 units, 2 plus 2, and they can be laid based on the final site survey. So we can actually lay them out in different configurations. These units can maximize privacy, shared green spaces, parking, and every element is for both functionality and livability. So we have some common spaces here that people can utilize. Like I said, a good design should not compromise on quality. Everything that's laid out in here is really good quality. And this is, I would say, these are not just houses. They're engineered systems where design layout is very functional and very modular as well. And using premium finishes throughout. And we can talk about this company is actually local to Oregon, and they're building it to the specs. You know, Oregon coast is very unforgiving. The units have to withstand high winds, heavy rains, and salt air. So factory construction gives us that envelope of ceiling that on-site construction can't match at the price point you're looking at. And again, system based on what we get from the site plans and stuff, the foundation can be laid out differently, and there are various ways to put them on the ground. And that takes me to the next part. The interesting part is like financial feasibility to county partnerships. So it shows us the buckets of different fundings we are looking at. So right now we secured about 530K from our pockets to do this. The total cost of the construction and development would be about 1.4 million. And based on our calculations and annual, our net operating income comes to about 44,000 at a cap rate of 3.4%, which reflects our mission-driven approach. We are not maximizing for profit. We are, but we want to make sure the impact is financially stable and financially sustainable. And this funding we are seeking from the county is about $80,000. That will get us some credibility and put in the door, as well as we can utilize precise feasibility and getting the permits and get the buy-in from the county, local city stuff. So the last part of that, my presentation is about phase one. We want to do a pilot. Phase two, we want to expand in the next couple of years. And long-term vision would be countywide model and beyond. And yeah, I think that's all I had from my presentation. We are mission driven and we want to make it scalable, and we have local commitment and grew up in that neighborhood and wants to see it thrive. And now I'm open to questions.
What's the square footage on the units?
Oh, they are actually, on this slide. But do you remember the square footage of the unit?
Unfortunately, I'm sort of on the screen there, so it's hard for me to check. We do have that. Let me see if I can find that. It is I actually think it's visible in one of those. It is not large square footage, but it isn't tiny either.
It was about, I think, 10 by 12.
No,
One part.
Oh, no, sorry.
I think it's 15 feet across. So because they're 15 feet across with the overhang, so I think it is 12 feet across. But I'm looking for.
I have the specifications.
I know you have the presentation up, and I have my screen. Here we go. Hang on.
Yeah, for some reason, this one didn't have the dimensions on it. I can get back to you.
Well, are these constructed fully and then brought, and then is it a wrap slab and then they scoot it off and onto the slab?
Yes.
Okay, so it can only be a certain dimension, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but
I think it's
the layout is very
small.
modern. and very.
I think it's
very
40 by 12.
That
So
sounds
I
right.
Do the math. It might be 45. I can't.
Bedroom.
The two bedroom is 14 by 50, 700 square feet.
700 square feet, yeah.
There it is. Okay.
What's the one?
One bedroom says 38 by 14. The
Yeah.
exterior is 532. The interior is 425 square feet.
That sounds right.
And
So
looking at the
they're not
side,
large.
What we want to do on it, I think this is, we can maximize the footprint of the site with maximum space that living space we can give for medium housing. For a family of 2+.
Can you explain or tell me a little bit about the lit home technology? I know that there's a website about it, but what is their prefabrication or what is it?
So Lit Home started around a model to provide housing for the unhoused. So they designed these originally for that, you see those white prefab homes in Portland if you drive around, not homes, but really on site. And this is the next stage of their model essentially. I think they really have two sort of next stages, one of which is disaster. So providing homes during disasters, and then the other is really high-end prefab homes. I actually probably am the only one in the room who was, or on this call, that was in a mobile home when the windows blew out and the roof came off and the floor buckled. That was in I think 1979-ish on the Miami Foley Road, and as a kindergartner, I still remember that rather, well, let's just say it's imprinted for the rest of my life. And, these are not your state. We did actually tour a mobile home or a manufactured housing facility and look at that construction. The financials are much more interesting there, but living in coastal weather, our decision was to go for a much higher end piece of construction, and it can be on several types of foundations. Our plan here is to put it on a solid foundation. We haven't had full engineering and site planning done, so it could be on a slab or it could be on an actual foundation. Either one is supported by the construction.
So it could be ADA, because those all look,
Yes.
there are a lot of steps involved on
Yes.
pictures.
Yes, it can be
It could be.
ADA. That's a site plan and construction detail.
What's your
It
projected
is
timeline?
it is a hill though, so my real feeling about that is so actually before we did consider making the lowest one of those, the one on the closest to 12th Street, ADA for my brother, who lived in the house up above. He's since passed away, but it is definitely doable. I think for somebody that is confined to a wheelchair, it would be harder for us to build I would prefer to have them in the lower one. It's a lot of work to go up a hill every day, I think is my take. It can be done, but it's less friendly in that case, I think.
It's like about 10 feet gradient. Yeah, so that's why we stacked them.
What
So
would be
they
your,
get more light that way too. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. You have a question?
what would be your projected time frame for having doors available?
I think we're targeting before the end of the year. We haven't gone into, that. I think really permitting and scheduling is really going to cause more of that. We have a large grant request in there that we're looking for. Our feelings actually, we are in a position to move forward without huge grants. But that is partially what makes it more repeatable for us. We aren't looking to do 4 units. We are looking to do a 4-unit installation. And, there's a lot more than just construction that goes into having, cottage clusters that you're renting. There's property management, and there's a significant infrastructure around that that's required. So part of it is building a repeatable process for, site planning, construction, but also long-term management is not an insignificant challenge.
I see that the cost per unit on our front page, the project evaluation says 110,000, but the pro forma lists 382. I'm stoked about 110. I want to know if that's possible and if that's what's happening. So I'm making clarity, both for us and myself.
Yeah, so I think the unit cost is about 110, but the total construction cost of putting the unit in with everything else comes down to that.
So the purchase price per unit is 110,000.
So I think that's the one bedroom is 110. But
That's
that
a one
doesn't-
bedroom.
Yeah,
and
and
then-
it doesn't.
And we are
include the-
partnering up. As we scale it, we may be able to get like at a better price point as well. So they are very eager to partner with us, that's because we have a vision to not just stop at 4, but we build bigger clusters in the future.
We also have a fairly high site prep number in there as well right now that we hope to beat, but we've put a square footage based number in right now. I saw a question there from Nan.
Yeah, and there's enough room on the property to add more units?
Not in this property.
No,
Not on
not this property.
We maximize this property, yeah.
Okay.
If I recall, you guys do have a site identified for the future though, as we
We-
property you own, right?
We do have other sites that are possibilities. This one has been, so we sold a lot in Falcon Cove, or my mother did, and she ended up buying the house above this, and what came, and then this lot sort of came with that as a slight addition. We purchased that from her to start with, because it's in the family. It made it very straightforward for us to essentially, build a pilot.
So just to make sure we're clear, this $110,000 a unit, now the total project cost is about $1.5 million, $1.6 million.
Yeah, we put in all the contingencies in place right now, so this is the maximum, but we may be able to bring the price down as we get into the more feasibility aspect of the stage. So we already have procured the land, and that price includes the land price. And
So just rough numbers, $1.6 million divided by 4 units is $400,000 a unit.
yeah,
So the $110,000 a unit that you have on your application here, what does that refer to?
that is the actual cost of the unit from Lit Technologies. But the total cost of putting it on the site is higher than that because we have to do foundational work and
Sure.
there's site work and stuff. So pro forma has a breakdown for
Right,
that.
so in your pro forma that I saw earlier, we had $750,000 for the manufactured modular fabrication. $750,000.
Yeah, but right now we're negotiating the price on that as well. And so they are going to talk about based on this pilot project, and that's the whole part of this being a pilot, is figure out what partnership we can foster with them. They're also looking for good partners. So we may be able to on bulk price purchase. There are some incentives that we may be able to leverage and bring the price down.
I'm kind of confused by these numbers, but it's good they're coming down, I guess.
Yeah, they are pretty willing to work with us right now.
Well,
So-
to clarify, the number that he gave, is that delivered or is that?
No,
They
the
deliver-
110
yeah,
is
that- yeah.
not delivered.
Yeah, that's just the unit price.
No, so not the 110, but the 700 and something.
Oh, yes.
And that's
Yeah.
delivered.
That's the delivered, because that is very expensive process and there is a
Yeah.
lot. And does that, are they paying the permitting fees or are you paying for those?
Oh, we'll have to do it.
Because sometimes in these, I have experience, we bought one of these with our son did. And, that was something that you could negotiate with them is who was going to cover that and do the legwork on it and all of that stuff, so.
Yeah, they're very willing to work with us, and that's why we are calling this a pilot. And we'll solidify these numbers once we know, like, we have some secure funding and some credibility to work with, and then we'll have a better performance at that point.
The question about this, the modular builder. I had toured a facility. And they said they do modular built to the specs and qualifications of stick built, which is by definition not modular. Does LIT follow basically building to code? So you, in a sense, have a stick built home, if we all know what that means. once it gets plunked on the foundation? I mean, well, since it's modular, that
is.
apparently is not necessarily.
Prefab, it is prefab, so yes. It
But
is
it-
not built to it is not built to the standards of a manufactured home. It's a prefab home, so it does require local building codes, I believe.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And I was just gonna say that there's on the building who covers the permitting, I believe they cover the permitting for the construction, and we cover, right now anyways, the permitting for the site and installation.
In regards to your financial stack, is there any other sources of funding that you're looking at? As far as not just private equity, but loans or something to get this off the ground?
Yeah,
So-
we talked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna start exploring. So this is our first pitch and
Okay,
and I'm just getting in here and trying
Yeah.
to see like, look at the feasibility of the project as well.
thank you.
yeah, like
So
all
we are-
projects. Looking for other funds that can support them.
We are prepared. We are not planning to use loans, but we will seek more private funding if required. We have more resources available ourselves as well. But it does also have to pencil out. We don't want to do 4 units. We want to do more than 4 units essentially.
But the ROI is pretty low on this. It's more like more of a passion project. I brought Amit here as well. He got interested in the idea to do some gap funding as well. So we'll see. But we have some private equity available as well as look at it. Other languages.
What will the 80,000 be used for?
Right now, it will be more on the site planning and so we have done some preliminary work, but we want to do site surveys and everything. Just to get it off the ground, plus it will help us build rapport with the local codes and stuff and get permits much faster if we have some backing from the county.
Is this eligible for CERTA funds? And if so, is that being looked at? The space efficient housing?
This could qualify for certain, yes, and we intend to submit an application for it.
Is that the one, Parker, that you said Nehalem is not currently a partner with?
No, that was the ordinance 85 tax abatement
Okay.
program. That
Oh,
does
yeah, that's right.
talk about and get that clear in the pipeline if possible.
Does anybody else have any questions? Well, I think they're silent. Well, thank you so much
Well,
for
thank
coming.
you.